नमस्कार, एक बार फिर से स्वागत है आप सभी का इंडिया न्यूज़ बिज़नेस के खास शो आईपीओ वॉच में। आज हम बात करने वाले हैं प्रोटीन ईगव टेक्नोलॉजीज लिमिटेड के बारे में। हमारे साथ जुड़ चुके हैं खास पैनलिस्ट और जो कंपनी के मैनेजमेंट है, एक बार उनसे मिलवाते हैं, उसके बाद जानकारी लेते हैं कंपनी के बारे में। स्वागत करते हैं मिस्टर सुरेश सेठी जी का। गुड आफ्टरनून सर,
Good morning.
वेलकम टू आवर शो।
Good afternoon. How are you?
आई एम गुड, हाउ आर यू?
Good, good. Thanks for having me here.
Yeah, thanks for joining us and also a very congratulations for the Protean.
Thank you.
Yeah. First of all, sir, I would like to ask the basic profiling of the company, like in which sector company is working.
So, Ganjan, I'll just give a background. Our company has been working for the last 28 years in the space of creating digital public infrastructure. Focus has been always to look at creating national population scale infrastructure creations in the country to enable a digital India. Our larger forays right from the outset have been in the space of taxation, pension, and ID services. So we were one of the companies involved in the modernization of the entire tax ecosystem. And we also have the PAN issuance in the space of taxation, pension, and ID services. So we were one of the companies involved in the modernization of the entire tax ecosystem. And we also have the PAN issuance in the space of taxation mandate given to us, where we issue the national tax ID and we host the national PAN database. Similarly, on the pension front, we were the first central record keeping agency for the national pension scheme. And subsequently, that same CRA platform was also used to host the Atal Pension Yojana. And today we remain one of the largest central record keeping agencies in the country for pension. And on the ID services, we provide a host of authentication and KYC services to the BFSI sector at large, including the fintech players who then enable digital onboarding of people for account opening, for loan disbursement, for any other activity which requires a Aadhaar-based authentication or a PAN-based validation. So we provide those services, and we are pretty unique in providing the entire stack of eKYC, e-sign, e-authentication, and online PAN verification. We are one company which does all of the services through the same bouquet, and that has been largely, what the company has been contributing over the last 28 years. We are looking at now expanding our foray into three new lines of business. The primary focus is
Right.
looking at the multi-sector digitization which is happening, which is supported by the strong policy framework put out by the government of India towards creating national digital open ecosystems in various sectors of the economy, ranging from e-commerce to mobility to health, agriculture, education. And these are all areas we are participating in, both at the infrastructure level and also in building applications and consumer and corporate technology in what is termed as the innovation layer. So ODEs is one focus area for us. The other area is building or doing a vertical integration of our underlying ID services and building end-to-end digital onboarding processes and also data allied services through a license we've received from the RBIF to be an account aggregator, where we have set up a subsidiary to provide those services. And last but not least, the third vertical we are building on is on the cloud services and infosec consulting. So all these businesses put together, we move from a 3 to a 6 stack business model. And at the same time, we are looking at taking all these businesses global, because there is a need in especially the developing markets to look at infrastructure projects supporting digital identity or social security services or taxation. And that is our focus, to take it global to that extent. So that in essence is the business model of the company.
Yeah. It was really great, and also I would say that the how the company is approaching toward the digital infrastructure with the help of government as well, and to build a future for the India's perspective, and also showcasing the India's growth story. So this is fantastic, I must say. And now I would like to ask, if we talk about the company financial, what is the profit and the revenue generation and the past performance of the company in terms of financials?
So if we look at it, we've had a strong revenue growth year on year. Between last year and this year, our adjusted growth in revenue was almost 15%. This was adjusting for some exceptional items. We had last year a data center sale, which was an exceptional item, and likewise there were certain changes in the revenue which we were accruing for UIDI as part of the ID services, where the unit costing was brought down by UIDI. But looking at adjusted amounts, we had a growth over there. We grew from almost 690 CR to 700 and I'll just give you the numbers to give you an essence of that. We moved from
Sure.
a number of 645 to 742, which was a growth factor over there. Our revenue pools are largely transactional in nature. So when we look at our revenue, it largely comes from B2B, B2C, and B2G business models. If you look at our larger component of tax services, it is all uh, from the PAN issuance service, it is all consumer driven. So we charge the consumers a transactional charge for new PAN issuance or any sort of modification in the PAN details or reprint of the PAN card. Similarly, on the tax filing services, which is ETDS, it is a B2B model and again a transactional charge which is applied to the corporates which are filing tax returns. In our pension business, we also have an annuity component. While on one side we have a transactional charge for new account opening, we have an annuity component where we get paid for the total subscriber base of pension holders that we have, plus the transactional charge which we have for any withdrawal or any contribution. And our ID services business is completely transactional in nature, which is B2B in nature, where we support the BFSI sector and the fintechs in providing these services. Charge for new account opening. We have an annuity component where we get paid.
Right. So, balance sheet is looking good, and also the numbers are quite attractive. And now we must say, like, there is no company in the industry without the peers. If we talk about the peers of the Protean, so what? Who are the companies who is in the front of Protean as of now?
So, Kanjan, that's an interesting question because we see ourselves pretty uniquely and incomparable in terms of industry peers. While for each of our business lines we might have competition, but when you look at the entire Kanjan, that's an interesting question because we see ourselves pretty uniquely and stack of six services we see ourselves uniquely positioned. And I will just elaborate on that. When I look at our play in the creation of the digital public infrastructure, which is more like creating interventions at the infrastructure level, we see ourselves as pretty unique, and there are very few comparable partners which have the full range of services like we have, ranging right across taxation, pension, and now moving into the new sectors of the economy on mobility, digital commerce, similarly health, agriculture, and education. When we look at the innovation layer, where you are talking about providing consumer and corporate tech, over there, Protean naturally is competing with a lot of fintechs, a lot of startup institutions, and there naturally we see the advantage as being contributors to the infrastructure layer. We are able to therefore have definitely advantage in terms of providing the innovation layer services. So over there, it's a competitive market, but in the infrastructure layer, we see ourselves pretty uniquely positioned.
Right. So, as of now, we don't have that much of competitors, which makes us unique, which makes Protean the unique industry and the unique company in this industry. Now, if we talk about the expansion plans, do we have any kind of expansion plans in outside the India as well?
So expansion, as I mentioned to you, one is our thrust to move from a three vertical to a six vertical business model, and that is where we are adding the data stack, the open digital ecosystems, and the cloud and infosec consulting. And looking at all these areas of e-governance that we've contributed to, we are looking at this entire India stack to be showcased in international markets. We are empaneled also with the Ministry of External Affairs to showcase India's DPIs. And we are today looking at various international markets, which are at a similar stage of evolution at maybe India was around 10, 15 years ago. And they're looking at projects in the same space of, say, a national ID or a payments infrastructure, or likewise a pension or a social security infrastructure. And that is what we are looking at doing.
Okay. Now I would like to ask through the IPO, the money which is coming in. how we are going to allocate that money in different sectors, like in different things? Do we have any kind of debt or any expansion plan?
No, we've been a zero debt company for the last 20 years plus, and we have an asset light model, and we have positive cash flow year on year. So the company is almost sitting on a balance of 700 CR, which is invested in surplus and long term treasury. This issue is primarily an offer for sale. So we have today 15 marquee investors in the company, and out of them, seven of them are doing a partial exit. But a larger component of their investment still remains in the company. They believe in the company, the business model, the uniqueness, and the growth perspectives. And so it's a complete offer for sale, and all money will be going to the selling shareholders.
Okay. So from my end, I have asked all the question. Is there anything else you want us to know? You want to share?
We just want to reiterate the fact that this is a company which has been part of India's digital growth story right from the outset. And we've contributed significant assets in building the taxation, the pension, and the ID services stack. And going forward, we see immense opportunity in the multi-sectoral digitization that is happening in the country. And we have built assets, we have invested in people, in technology, we have full stack engineering teams, we have specialized people in product who are looking at design, data analytics, and sector specialization. And we are building towards creating these new age digital infrastructure and also compete in the innovation layer going forward.
Thank you so much for joining us, giving us your valuable time, and we hope and congratulate for the Protean.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. तो ये थे प्रोटियन ई गवर टेक्नोलॉजी लिमिटेड से सुरेश सेठिया जी, उन्होंने हमें बताया कि इस टाइम पे कंपनी जो है किस सेगमेंट में काम कर रही है, साथ ही साथ जो कंपनी के एक्सपेंशन प्लान्स है वो किस तरह के हैं, जो कंपनी आईपीओ के थ्रू पैसा लेके आने वाली है वो किस किस जगह पे हम कंपनी एलोकेट करने वाली है, साथ ही साथ जिस तरीके से उन्होंने बताया वो काफी ज्यादा अट्रैक्टिव लग रहा है। अब देखना ये होगा कि मार्केट में प्रोटीन कितना ज्यादा धमाका करके जाती है। बस ऐसी ही इन्फॉर्मेशन के लिए जुड़े रहिए इंडिया न्यूज बिजनेस के खास शो आईपीओ वॉच के साथ। धन्यवाद।